All right, here is, oops, the phone doesn't fall off. And this is my lovely makeshift studio with the manila little folders because to hide the mess that's behind there. Anyways, so this is one of the strap options. I got, I think, all these from Clockwork Synergy, and they have premium and different levels of NATO, but these are your standard or well, I don't think they use the word standard. I forget what the word is, but it's basically your regular standard NATOs. But they're pretty decent quality. You know, they're not the highest, I would say, probably. But you know, to be honest, I'm kind of new to NATOs. I never used to like them, and it wasn't until after watching Urban Gentry channel and some other things that got me to rethink it. And they're pretty cool options to give it a different look, as you can see. And there's tons of colors and patterns and stripes and all that, and color combinations to really make the watch personalized to your taste and style. But I chose a few that I thought would work pretty well, and this was one of them. And it's basically gray, white, and khaki or tan, light tan. It's just basically the same as this, and I think it looks pretty sweet. And most people seem to like this one as well. It looks good on this, and we'll put this on. And I'll say maybe these are not the best quality, just because, I mean, they're supposed to be heat sealed and all that stuff, you know, in the holes and the edges, you know, and all that. But I can tell you that, let's see, does this seem about right? Yeah. Good enough. Well, here, put one more hole here. Actually, maybe it's this time of day. I might be more swollen than I'm used to. Okay. But yeah, these holes here, they hold up fine, but I noticed though on these are cost around what, $12 more or less. Not the most expensive, not the cheapest. I think you can get them even cheaper, like under $10. Some NATO someplace, and who knows, they might be the same quality. I haven't tried them, but if they are cheaper, then in terms of quality, then I would advise not going too cheap. But my philosophy was, I could have spent more on like 15 or 20 bucks and even higher, right, for the really nice like blue sharks or something like that. And they probably will last me longer and generally better quality. But one, maybe I'm being a little cheap. Two, I just basically didn't feel like spending too much, and I wanted to get more variety than just limit myself to just, my purchasing power to just a couple of really nice ones. I mean, your philosophy on this might be different, but the way I see it, I got so many straps. I can't even keep count, especially for the 22 millimeter ones for these guys, and I had a couple of Steinhardts before. I have so many that I throw them into different rotations, and they're not all going to get worn 24/7. So it should hold up just fine, and they weren't that expensive. So if they really do get bad, toss it and just go pick up another one. It's not that hard. But I find that these generally hold up. The only thing is right inside, not so much the holes, but kind of this, right, usually I notice right in the middle, for some reason, it's not showing up here really. This is not that old, but even the not that old ones, they tend to just kind of start fraying up kind of somewhere in between the holes. Not actually on the holes. I think maybe, if you can, let me see. Yeah, see, like right here it's starting to do a little something. And I don't even, use the buckle all the way up here. It just starts to do that. Maybe just from putting my wrist down on something. I don't know, whatever, it's fine. I mean, they're NATO, they're supposed to be kind of rugged and used and I think broken in a bit, at least that's, I think, the original purpose of having a NATO. or how you can just kind of abuse it and be more or less pretty rough with it. And if it gets kind of rough and frayed or not too bad, then it's fine, as long as it's not falling apart, and these aren't. And there you go. Let's see. Let me back up. I do like this color combination. It's one of my favorites. It just works, and that's why some people probably thinking, oh, this is a dress watch. You can't do that with dress watches. No NATOs. Well, screw that, because I wasn't planning to use this as a dress watch. At least that was not my main purpose. This actually, as a dress watch, it would be a secondary purpose. I plan to use this more casual, semi-casual, anything other than super dressy for the most part. I could dress this up sometimes, but obviously, yeah, I like to play it down, throw in the different color combinations, and make it just look and feel different depending on what I'm wearing, where I'm at, and just have some fun with it. And I think it works just fine, yeah. And just to show you, I don't know how you guys do it, but I like to tuck my tongue in here. I've seen people do it on the outside, and I personally don't like that. This looks way, I don't know if I can show it to you from the reverse side here. It's kind of hard, huh? But this looks cleaner, it just goes right in. There's no tongue that hangs out, which could possibly catch or push the thing out. Or otherwise, I just don't like the tongue hanging out like this. If it gets snagged, you don't push it in against the rest of the strap. This just keeps it nice and clean right in there, no problem. And yeah, let's see if we can see it from this side. And there we go. And I'm not going to turn off the video this time because I have it on a NATO, so strap changes are so much easier, which is really a great thing about NATOs. I mean, I never took that into account before. I just thought they were I didn't get them. I didn't understand. What's the big deal? It's a piece of fabric. I'd rather have a bracelet or leather strap than a piece of nylon or something like that. And this is too silly. But, I opened my mind. I never used to like Seikos, but I have 3 of them. And I have a Rolex. But, I'm no brand snob. I'm willing to try things, and as long as they, don't totally disagree with me, I'll give it a chance. And, yeah, and I'm glad I got into NATOs, and now I have a lot. And it's all right, though. Again, I don't buy the most expensive ones. I figured that usually on average, the ones that are roughly $12, maybe $15 at most. I think that's what they cost at Wrist Candy Watch Club. I've yet to buy one there because I find that I've gotten a lot from Nomon watches and Clockwork Synergy for the most part. They have good prices, roughly around $11. And sometimes if you buy more, you get discounts too. So, I think Wrist Candy does that too, but they do charge $15 minimal, I think, for most of even their basic straps. It's not bad, but cost-wise, but when you add the things up, you can squeeze in a couple more different variety of straps for somewhere else. So anyways, I will give them a try one of these days. They do have certain colors or rather patterns that that you can't get elsewhere. I think I want to get, you've seen them around, but I want to get the one that's navy or dark blue and brown, like a bond strap. So if you can see that black and white one in the background, the black would be navy or dark blue, and the white areas would be brown, and I think that would look killer on this particular watch. And here, see this one, you can see see what I mean? It is kind of near the holes, but it's sort of not necessarily right on them. Whatever, it doesn't really bug me, because overall, you never really see this side too much, and I kind of play this off as this is just kind of a field strap, and you know, you're just gonna wear it and it'll get some abuse and whatever, you know. If it gets really bad, again, not that expensive, and just replace it down the line. And again, I have enough to rotate it from. It'll be a while till that happens. And I'm a little bit off on my centering. I usually try to get this space and this space of this keeper equal. I probably should have shifted this watch head down slightly, but anyways, this is a very popular one. It's clean, you know, plain khaki, but a lot of people like this one, and I do too. Can't go wrong with khaki or any earthy sort of military colors, like an olive drab always works, I think, too. And usually one of those two colors is just fine for getting that field watch kind of look, or it just looks good, you know, because it brings out a sort of vintage or military-esque kind of vibe to it, right? Just a white and just like that kind of warm sandy color. It works. And yeah, this is one of my favorite combos too, and so much so that I actually have one more coming. And I do have, you know, I have khaki here, and I have khaki here, and I have one more khaki coming in, but this time it has a single red stripe coming down the center, which I think will look pretty cool. Again, I think that'll even also give it that sort of military-esque theme. Something about khaki and a red stripe looks like this. It seems like something that would be on a desert military uniform of some sort. And though I am not at all in the military, but you know, I definitely respect those that are, because it's not an easy job, and you do what most people can't or won't, and you know, can't give them shit for that. So yeah, looks good. And lastly, going to the black and white. And I gotta wrap this up because this is getting way over time, and I actually have some place to be. Oh, it's actually 9:20 almost, and I have a 2-hour drive, so I ain't gonna be sleeping till at least midnight because I still got to do some stuff after this. But this is the only time I get to do it. Family's out. It's quiet. I won't be bothered. And I've been meaning to get this out of the way, but I've been wanting to test this guy out for a good amount of time before I try to, so I have something intelligent to say and some experience with it, so that it holds some weight, you know. I didn't just try it on for a couple of hours or even just a couple of days, you know, and say, oh, I know everything about this watch, how it should perform, because I will explain to you towards the end, like the performance-wise and maybe the pros and cons of this watch, how it's been holding up, and you can see why you don't want to rush a review just to get it out. You got to put proper time into it. And I don't even do this. This is the first review I've ever done. I just think it's, you know, it'd be nice for people that like this watch and want to know more about it, because there ain't jack on this other than a couple of really quick product videos, shots. This doesn't tell you anything except make it look nice, but it does look nice. And yeah, I figured, well, the black and white works for this, because the black and white NATO, because it's black and white. Although, yeah, at first I wasn't sure. I was very confident that this would work. Then when I got it and I tried it, kind of put it on, and I was like, it's not bad, but it wasn't what I imagined it would be, you know, the impact. But then I gave it a try and, you know, wore it for a while, and it's kind of grown on me more than my initial impressions when I first got the strap in. And I think it works, you know. It's another look, different than this or this one, right? Totally different. It's just high contrast. This is black and white, although some people think it's navy, and it would probably look pretty good in navy. But yeah, I think it's good, you know, because this, I don't know, this dial is interesting. I mean, in one sense, it can be construed as very plain, relatively plain and clean and simple, you know. But you got some these complications, and there is some fine detail too. And so, in some ways, it's a bit detailed. So you can, that's why you can tone it down, or you can put a plain strap with it, and it balances out. And because of my first, my other impression, the one that I said first, where it can look a little bit more simple and plain, that's why you can put something slightly more busier with it too, and it works equally well. You know, this got more stripes and colors, and this is higher contrast, you know, but I don't think it's that bad actually, right? Yeah. And I don't mind, you know, I like black and white, obviously, and this is fun. I think this would also look good if you've seen the ones where it's black and the white is replaced with maybe not quite a khaki, but like a cream color, something kind of off-white, a little bit kind of like an antique white. I think they have something like that. That would be kind of nice against this too, because, you know, this got kind of an old world flair, or turn of the century kind of look to it. So then making this kind of vintagey with not such a stark white, something that's off-white, and this will just pop out more, and you know, just the band would just fade a little bit more than this high contrast wood does. I can get that later, but no big deal. I have it in 22 for these guys, but I don't feel like, I like to get my straps to fit. And if you do go with an off size, they say go a little bit larger, because it'll kind of, you know, push out just a little bit, but it actually should look a little more full, you know, a little more plush, I guess, in some ways, if you can call it that, because it'll come out just slightly. If this was a 20, usually the off size are the ones you can't find. So if you had a 19, you get a 20. So if this was, since it's a 20, if they had a 21, I guess that's how it would look like, you know. So it would just come out just a little bit. And some people like to do the Bond thing where it's incredibly small. You see the spring bars, which I don't know. I'm not into that look. You know, it looks kind of sloppy and not well thought out, really. It's like, I'll just kind of put this together. You know, it looks wimpy, you know. He's got this gap and he's got the skinny spring bar. It just looks frail. You don't want to see the spring bar. So I recommend get it to fit. If you can't find one, you got the weird in-between size, or they just happen to not have the one that you want in exactly that size for some reason. They don't make these all in all sizes. Not all straps come in all sizes. Then go a little bit larger, and then you can probably squeeze it in and make it work. And there you go. And yep, it's getting late, so let me finish off by I'm going to quickly replace this. Should I replace this? You know, it does look good on this, but maybe I will keep it on this strap. I'm lazy. So let me just kind of conclude here.